Sweet. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you guys are brand new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. I'm planning on doing some vlogging videos as well as doing like sit down videos, just kind of explaining some of the stuff I do when it comes to just like photography and videography. So if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe down below. So a couple months ago, I actually decided to start my own podcast. If you guys have not heard it yet, it is called the Creative Hours Podcast. You can tune in on Spotify and on Apple Podcast. It pretty much talks about anything dealing with business and creativity. So if you guys are an entrepreneur, if you guys are a creative, I have a couple episodes where I've interviewed a couple creatives, and I do give a lot of tips and inspiration. So if you guys are interested, make sure you check that out. So as you can tell by the title of the video, this is the podcast equipment I use for my podcast. That is all basically under $500. So honestly, this is probably your best bang for your buck. And I've been doing a couple episodes, and honestly, I'm really satisfied with all the equipment I've been using. So if you guys are interested in starting your own podcast, I'll be linking down all the equipment I use down below, so make sure you check it out. I did get my kit through Amazon, and I actually ended up purchasing 2 different kits that basically had everything I was looking for. Basically, for my podcast, I wanted to have microphones for me and a guest, and have a professional setup that I can use. That overall just really increases the production quality. So the kit I pretty much went for included 2 of the AT2020 MK mics. It also included a pair of headphones, 2 stands and cables, pop filters, and the Focusrite Ti2. This is basically an audio interface you need to plug up your mics to the computer. So I honestly didn't even know I needed this until I reached out to a friend that actually makes music, and he basically recommended me getting this. This model, make sure you get the Ti2 because this model actually includes 2 inputs. So if you want to have a guest on your podcast, you will need 2 inputs. So basically the way this works, this is actually powered by USB. So there's a Type-C port on the back that connects from this to your computer to power this up. And then in the front, you actually have 2 inputs. So you can actually plug in 1/4-inch cables, XLR cables, whatever you have, and plug these into your mic. This interface actually powers up to 48 volts. So this is actually perfect for powering on the mics you get in this kit. This right here is the AT2020 mic, and honestly, for the amount of money I spent on this, this is actually really good quality. I've used Audio-Technica a couple times, and honestly, the quality is pretty solid. The only thing that I have noticed is pretty much the popping sounds, but I mean, I wouldn't blame the mic for that. That's basically me just being too close to the mic. So when it comes to filming my podcast, I played a bit with having the pop filter on it. Personally, for the video, I haven't really liked using the pop filter because it does cover up like a pretty good amount of my face. But I've noticed that if I angle it right to the side, I can still pick up my audio really clearly without getting any like pop sound. So honestly, this is a really good mic, and I'll be doing an audio sample so you guys can hear this out. What is going on, guys? So this is basically the audio quality for the AT2020 mics connected to the Focusrite Ti2. So honestly, I gotta say, for the budget and the price for this whole setup, like honestly, it's really clean. The only thing that I am noticing is a bit of echo in the room, but that's just coming from me personally, from like 1, shouting in the room, and 2, having my setup so close to the wall. So honestly, I'm looking into getting some soundboards for the walls, just to kind of help out the acoustics in the room. But other than that, the audio quality on this setup is really good. This is a lot better compared to if you're using like an iPhone. I know a lot of people that start a podcast who do resort to using iPhones, but honestly, this setup is a lot more clean, and it looks a lot more professional, especially if you're doing a video portion of your podcast. And one of the things that I really do like about this setup is just kind of like the vocals in it. Although this is more of like a beginner mic, like there are a lot of rich sounds, especially in like the basses. I feel like, me personally, I don't have a super deep voice, but with the whole like setup, there is a lot more richness to the basses, and honestly, the setup is very like, it looks very professional, so it really does look the part. Other than that, the only other things that you'd have to look into is maybe like lighting and having like a nice camera setup. But other than that, when it comes to the audio setup, like I mentioned before, this is honestly probably your best bang for your buck. So this is going to be the audio coming straight out of my camera mic. There isn't a shotgun mic or anything. It's just the camera mic coming from my Sony. And then this is going to be the audio quality coming straight from the AT2020 plugged up to the Focusrite. So automatically, there's going to be a lot more richness to the voice. And honestly, this setup for a podcast sounds a lot better compared to if you're just talking straight into like a shotgun mic, for example, like I did earlier in the video. So if you guys are on a tighter budget, you can actually get a very similar kit to this for under $300. You can actually get one AT2020 mic the stands, the cables, and the Focusrite Ti2 for under $300. So if you guys are looking to start a solo podcast without any guests, this is actually the kit I would recommend. The only downside about this kit is it doesn't include a pair of headphones, so I do recommend picking up an extra pair of headphones if you guys are wanting to monitor or even edit your audio. So I do record my podcast on my MacBook Pro. The only thing I didn't mention in the video are the programs that I use. I'm actually using Adobe Audition to record the audio. When it comes to the video portion of the podcast, I actually use Premiere Pro to edit it. So yeah, that's pretty much for this kit. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a thumbs up down below. And if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I upload every Friday, so if you guys are interested in watching vlogs or just kind of like behind the scenes about what I do in photo and video, just make sure you subscribe and let me know what you guys like to see next. And like always guys, stay awesome. Peace. This right here is the AT2020 mic. Oh shit. Like, honestly, this is a really beefy mic. So this is my second time dropping this, and this shit does not have a dent. So recommend.